Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Our Kind of People. So before we even get started with the episode, listen, listen, I gotta go ahead and brag a little bit, if you will. Let me stop. I just wanted to say, if you saw the episode, you saw what it was, you heard what was going on. When the episode first came on, they were playing a song, and the song is by somebody who is related to me on my father's side of the family. That song is entitled Slip Away by the Clarence Carter. I don't know what number he is as far as cousin wise, but when I was a child and I grew up listening to blues and all that stuff, live for blues. And I was like, wait a minute, his name Clarence Carter. Is he related to us? And my mom was like, yeah, he related to your grandmama and them. But I never knew like if it was a first cousin, second cousin, or whatever. My grandmother passed away a couple of years ago when she was 96 years old. Clarence Carter currently is like in his mid 80s. So, I mean, ain't no telling what number it is. And my family is humongous on both sides. But yeah. And interestingly enough, for a few years, fun fact, this is just something, it's a connection to my family as well. And I just want to bring it up. I promise y'all, I will come on with the recap review, but I need to say this. For a couple of years, Clarence Carter was married to another amazing singer, and her name was Candy Stanton. Now, coincidentally enough, most people know her for one song in particular, and that is that song that goes like this. I think it's Young Heart, Run Free. Like, I feel like everybody know that or whatever. But I personally knew her because of her gospel connection. Because she did like different genres. I mean, I think she mainly did gospel, but she branched off at times and was doing other stuff. So yeah, every year, my father's siblings that were in town, whenever it was Mother's Day, they would, even if they were not members at our church, they would all come to church that Sunday and sing a Candy Stanton song, one song in particular. And it's called Mama, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like, I thought you'd like to know all those nights you paced the floor. Never a one. Like, I don't forgot the words. I used to know all the words. But anyway, the hook is, Mama, I want you to know I love you. Please forgive me for all the times I broke your heart. Yeah, I sang that to my mama, like, I think during quarantine, and sent the video to her. And yeah. But yeah, that was like a tradition. Like, they would all get together and sing that to my grandmama, and it was pretty much for everybody, but they sang it to my grandmama every single year without fault. But anyway, that was the connection. Clarence Carter is related to me. He is from my city as well. Yeah. I just thought I'd throw that in there. But yeah, let's get on into the recap review now. So yeah, the episode started out with that song playing, like I already said. But we see, y'all, I was about to say that man's name that he had on Scandal. Scandal was so good to me. But anyway, we see Teddy. And like, because if you were paying attention on as far as what happened last episode, you already know this man going through. He going in and out of consciousness, life, all of this. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, you dressed in all white. Oh, okay, you half dead right now. So I don't know if this is supposed to be purgatory or what. But anyway, he is talking to someone who is supposed to be his brother, his older brother. Because when he said it at first, I was like, oh no, y'all definitely like heading to the afterlife, or you having a moment where you might be snatched back into the here and now. But he's having a moment where he's talking to his older brother, and they happy to see one another. And I'm like, this fool ain't finna die. Like, this man is too amazing of an actor. Y'all had to come up off a good check to have this man on this show. Ain't no way this man finna be dead. That's what we not finna do. So I already know this man ain't gonna die in my mind. So I'm like, no, it is what it is. So Even while he's talking to his brother, his heart is going all the way through it. He like, I gotta lay down. I can't even function right now. So the show come on, everybody is like in their feelings, and people are still reeling from the fact that Nate is there and her daughter is in her feelings because all this time y'all acting like y'all know who her daddy is and what was going on with him and all this other stuff. Y'all feeding her lies. And she is just overwhelmed because her granddaddy that she just found out this man was her granddaddy. She building a bond with him and he might die in a second now. Now you telling her, here's my daddy. Here's Nate. What? What is we talking about? And this is the way you meet him? Girl, okay. So, I mean, it's not Angela's fault because she did say she wanted to have a couple of months to think about it. But y'all know Teddy was being selfish and he's wanting some things to pop off in his favor and he playing dirty like he always does. So it's crazy that this situation is actually bringing Leah and Angela together. They are watching him as he is pretty much hanging on to dear life right now, not knowing what's going on. Like, he keep on having moments where these people have to keep coming in the room and doing whatever. And like I said, they're bonding, and it's kind of interesting that it took this for them to even bond. So anyway, the next day we see Angela come and Tariq is there. He done brought her like an apple fritter or something like that, wanted to talk to her and all of that, and trying to see how she doing. And she like, I'm cool, I'm good. You know, Teddy's okay. And he feels like he's the reason why he has gone into cardiac arrest in some more because he wants to know what's all going on. So, because he already know his dad, ain't no way his dad is sat up there and killed himself. Like, he ain't even that type of person. So anyway, the press wants to know what's going on. Everybody tied in their spirit. And it just is what it is. Like, everybody is like on them because they are the family. They are that family. Like, they are powerful. So if he going down, they need to know what's going on. Of course, everybody want to know every move, what's going on, whatever. So Leah is trying to understand why Alex keep coming out of nowhere. I see it seems like she just got it in for us. What's wrong with her? I don't understand. And so then he reveals to her that, you know, she's in her feelings because my folks paid her off years ago. And that's the reason why we ain't together. So now she's looking at him like, wait a minute, you knew this information? Like, what? You're keeping secrets? And so, you know, he like, look, I want my company back. It is what it is. And so she looking at him sideways like, sir, it ain't even got nothing to do with nothing. And so in her mind, she like, look, if this gonna be a fight, I'm gonna shut it down. You ain't gotta worry about that. Nate is, you know, apparently, I was about to say this man's name from Scandal again. Teddy told this man that he could have one of the rooms in the compound or whatever it is. And so he is so used to the jail life, the prison life, that he done set up shop on the floor. And so Angela came over there to see what was going on with him and to talk. And so she was like, I really do want you to have that amazing relationship with our daughter. But she feels some type of way. And it is what it is. And it is what it is. Like, look, child, I was just like, okay. First of all, I don't know how many of y'all have watched Black Lightning. I'm never going to get over this. So whenever I bring it up, y'all forgive me in advance. When they sat up there and gave them boy them locks and they looked like that, I was like, y'all could have paid me money to make a lock wig for this man. I don't have the first license and I would have still been able to make it look realistic enough and believable enough for y'all to say, oh, that's his. That might be coming out his scalp. Is that coming from his scalp? Like, oh, but anyway, the one that they got on him, this man unit or whatever they want to call him these days, it look nice. Now, I don't know how to make no man unit or no unit or nothing like that. I can make a piece that you can put on, clip on, sew on, and all of that, and add on to your head, and it'll look good. You know what I'm saying? Again, I ain't got no license. I'm just saying what I said. So anyway, she kind of wanted to know the history behind him getting the locks and stuff now. And they ended up actually going on the beach and having a ceremony because she said that when a lot of people end up transferring their pain into their hair. And so he just felt like that was kind of his way of rebelling against everybody. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do. and it's the only way I'm gonna hold on to certain things. And so they did a ritual. She spoke over him, and she said, "We got to release all of this negative energy and the things that have been holding it and weighing you down, and this pain, you got to transfer it." So to make a long story short, she cut his locks off and put it into something, and he wrapped it up and threw it into the fire and released it into the atmosphere for the ancestors to deal with, I guess. But yeah, she ended up doing finger coil. I was like, wait a minute, don't do it. Because y'all, every week I say, ooh, should I do finger coils? But I don't be wanting to do it no more because my hair ain't short no more. I've been letting it grow. So it's like, when I first cut my hair off, I lived for a finger coil every single time I had my hair. When I wasn't wearing a wig, oh, finger coil, child. And everybody, you got locks? No, I don't have locks. Leave me alone. But anyway, y'all. So now Angela is back at the house, and she is trying to talk to her daughter. She don't want to talk to her right now. And, she's just in her feelings. And so she was like, look, your father gave me something. And it's somewhat like of a journal that he kept while he was in prison. And she just left it at her bedside table for her to hopefully look over and see it and be curious enough to look into it and see what's happening. So she hasn't been eating or nothing. Like, she is really in her feelings because the news reports are talking about this man that did the most. Y'all, I'm so tired. So anyway, she came out the room and her aunt was like, oh, I was just about to call you. Alex on the TV screen, setting it off, talking about, oh, he is an attempted murderer and all this other, talking about accessory to murder or whatever. And so she was like, wait a minute. And the daughter, of course, then came out the room and saw this. Now she even more tired in her spirit because she like, really? My daddy out here killing folks? I don't want no parts of this foolishness. So she tired. So then we see Leah linking up with Alex, want to know what her issue is, why she around. She need to go on by her business. And so for whatever reason, this heifer feels as though she can flex and be like, but I am Mrs. DuPont with her ring. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. So anyway, her daddy is still going through. And she keeps going back and forth to the hospital to see about him and see what's going on. And because of what Angela, I was about to say Aaliyah, because of what she saw on the TV, she rushed straight to the hospital to talk to Leah about it. Was like, I'm gonna handle this because what she not gonna do is come for me and my family. Like, that's what we not finna do. Well, we see another moment where her father is with her little brother, and they've had conversations throughout this whole episode. And he was like, you were always his favorite. I was the one that he learned mistakes from because he was the oldest, meaning he was his first child. And so he was like, no, I don't think it was that way. And so he was like, yeah, you were the favorite. And he was like, yeah, that's my little Teddy. I'm trying to understand, like, if it was like that, like, well, no, ain't no reason to think that. Because some of these people, when they grow up knowing that they're a favorite child, they act privileged. And they grow up to be Teddies. I just want to make a PSA. Y'all need to stop saying that y'all have a favorite child or a favorite parent or a favorite aunt or a favorite uncle or a favorite niece, a favorite nephew, and all of that. That ain't the way to do it. Because even if you're just saying it to make somebody feel better, you should not say that. Because a lot of people really do have favorites out here. You can't sit up there and play favorites with these people. That turns these people into the type that are Teddies of the world. And it is actually showing the other people who are around and in the room like, well, dang, you should love it. Why can't you just love everybody equally and be like, ain't no favorites? Like, you should just set it off and be like, ain't no favorites. You my niece, you my nephew, you my child, you my mama, you my daddy, you my whatever. And I love you, and that's it. Stop having favorites. I always felt like that was a sick thing to do. I have never understood people doing that. And I mean, I've had like cousins. I have a cousin right now on my mama's side of the family. You could tell that like certain relatives like lived for her, but she was toxic and she was trash. And like it took almost everybody like dying who lived for her to like get her life together. And I'm like, they never even saw the good side of you while they were living. And I'm glad she got her life together. I am very glad for that. But she was not somebody who you needed to be like, oh my gosh, that's my niece. Oh, that's my niece. Let me set it off for my niece. And all of that. And I'm just like, child, the ones y'all be lifting up don't be the ones that's worthy of any of the praise, but go off though. I'm sorry I had to go off on a tangent. But I have never been here for that. That is not where it is. And I used to always feel some type of way because it's like, to me, I feel like that's not the way that you should conduct business. That's not the way you should treat family. You know what I'm saying? Now, it may be different if we're talking about a best friend or somebody like that. Okay, I get that. And sometimes you still have to limit that because a lot of people get that title and they are not deserving of it. Yeah. So anyway, back at the compound, the house or whatever, Teddy's folks had to set it off. The person who was over all of the housekeeping and all of that, they had to tell them folks, look, this is an in-house matter. He is going under the knife right now. That he is undergoing emergency surgery because his heart is setting it off. Like the people that had to sit up there, open him all the way up, put ice on his heart and everything else, try to save him because he's going through like that. The woman had to say, listen here, he is doing this, but if press or anybody comes snooping around, we are to tell them that everything is all right or whatever. Like tell them a completely different story. And if somebody has come snooping around, report to me and tell me what was said because that ain't what we finna do. And so when that meeting was over, Tyreek rolled up on her because she's been around since he was born and all this stuff happened with his daddy and all this. So of course she knows him. He is pretty much like a son to Teddy, as he loves to say. So he's been around. He pretty much raised him. So she was happy to see him, and he pretty much was like, hey, you know, I want to know if you knew about this person. And so she was like, oh, I didn't know about this person, but I know about another person who might have known whatever. This person is dead, but I know this other person. Child, it's the person that her Aunt Peggy, Angela's Aunt Peggy used to date, child. And that woman said that she holds more secrets than the grave. I was like, I'm tired. I can't do it. I'm tired. So anyway, tell me why Raymond, who is Leah's husband, is in a vehicle with Alex talking to her. And, you know, she was like, you know, things happened or whatever. And it's like she's still having these moments where I'm like, girl, we both understand what happened back in the day, but things are different now. Don't try to relive the past. And so, yeah, he tried to hire you and all of that to get his company back. But now she going a little bit too far. Like, she like over here trying to touch him. They done kissed and all of this. Little did he know, Angela was around the corner and got out the car. She saw the entire situation go down and she's done. But we're going to get back into that later on. Well, what's the heifer's name? Lauren, the cousin who is out of control, Leah's daughter. So she in her feelings about her granddaddy. Like she really do live for her daddy and her granddaddy. And so she is so deep in her feelings. She done walked over there to Eve's Crown and Nikki is there in her feelings and she don't know how to feel. And so they talking and she actually is acting genuine. Like I really hold these people within an arm's length because I still don't trust them. I understand they done went through things, but people don't change overnight like that in a lot of cases. So I'm still side-eyeing her and her mama. I don't trust folks. I feel like they will turn on them if a situation suits them. So I'm still going to look at them sideways until I know for sure for certain. I ain't got time. So anyway, she talking to her and she was like, you know, my mama would, you know, be hurt or whatever to find this out, but I really, really live for my daddy. I love everything about my daddy. Like she lived for her dad. That's pretty much what she was saying. And that she feels as though she needs to build a relationship with her father. And so she was just like, I'm afraid to read what my mama left for me. And so she was like, well, do you want me to read it? And so she started reading it. And it was like a poem because they pretty much do the same thing. It's crazy how you won't even be in somebody's life and they emulate you. They doing the same things that you was doing. And she don't even know that that's what he had going on. So he's a poet, I guess you could say. So he was talking about how something that was 7 pounds, however many ounces, had this hold on him ever since it looked into her eyes and all this other stuff. Like, he was talking about her. And then, like, she just started crying. She was like, oh my gosh, he was talking about me. And I'm like, yeah, girl, he lived for you. And so now she in her feelings because it's like, dang, I ain't never known this man, but this man knew me the entire time. How, Sway? How, Sway? So, you know, the cousin ended up just closing it up, read that little page, and that was it. She gonna read some more later on. Alex is round corners and she sees one of these doctors backing into a parking spot. I guess, Lord, for the backing in, I back in almost every single parking spot, unless it's one of those cat-cornered or whatever, slanted ones that you see at the Walmarts of the world. So yeah, that's how I park. If you ever see me, it's probably me backing in. So yeah. But yeah, this man was backing into his parking spot. And I saw the Howard bumper sticker and I was like, okay. And so she was like, oh, okay then. It's good to see one of our fellow, whatever. Ain't you? And he was like, oh, okay, so you one of us, whatever. And so she is known. Like, people know her. And so he was like, can I get an autograph? Can I get a picture with you or whatever? And so she was like, sure you can, but, I need to know some information. Wanted to know about what's going on with Teddy. Child, moving right along. Since Tariq was directed to go into the aunt's direction, later on that night, he rolled up, and so she automatically assumed that he was looking for Angela. He wasn't. Ended up asking questions about that man, and this heifer was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, dating, the definition was different so long ago. I was very popular back then, but I'm sure I'll be asleep when Angela gets home, but I'll make sure to let her know that you dropped by. And so he left out looking like, I don't trust this heifer's answer, but I'm gonna go though. Yeah, child. As soon as he was out of sight, this heifer spilled her tea, like broke the teacup and the saucer that it was on, and looked like, oh my gosh, it's just too much going on around here. Anyway, Teddy's heart is still going all the way through, so he is still talking to his brother. Long story short, we find out that Teddy really is trash. Like, if we never thought that, he was trash before, we get the definite confirmation now. Because, to make a long story short, this man killed his brother. He shot his brother in the head. But yeah, and the brother said that, you kept this secret because he was revealing to his brother about Eve, the daughter, who was Angela, and him. And so he was like, yeah, all these secrets, I'm pretty sure that anybody ever found out about these secrets, that you would be ruined, whatever, and you've kept these secrets. And when he said the secret about himself being killed, I was like, I'm tired. But at this point, I'm not surprised because Teddy's trash. Wow, well, recent turn of events. Amazing. Guess what just happened, y'all? Raymond caught the elevator that his wife and his wife's daughter were on because they were about to go and see Teddy again. She saw Raymond and saw red, and so she set it off on this man, had him turn around, punched him in the eye. Leah looking like, wait a minute, baby, what's going on here? And so she had to set it off and let her know what was going on. And so she looking at him like, what you mean? He over here kissing this heifer and talking to this heifer, and you in a car talking to her. He was like, no, I was telling her to leave my family alone, whatever. She had to get up off the elevator and told him, we don't need you at the hospital. You can go home, bye, all of that. Like, tired. So they done spent the night at the hospital because he had to have emergency surgery. So they're watching him. And so she went out, got some coffee, and came back. So she wakes Angela up with the smell of coffee, and she thanked her for being there and all this other stuff. They ended up praying over Teddy. Teddy woke up and talking about he's so glad to see his daughters because they like grabbed each other's hands and prayed over this man. And I was like, I didn't think Leah knew how to say a prayer, as evil as she is, because of who her father is. Demons, the devil was an angel at one point. So, listen, it is what it is. So anyway, she thanked her, before he woke up for being there and all this other stuff. And y'all, whatever. It really acted like they're really good sisters and things. And so they were holding hands when he woke up, and he was happy to see that. I was like, child, don't nobody have time for you, Teddy. Teddy is trash, and I can't. So anyway, Nikki is at the house, and she's reading through the journal, and her mama is, trying to talk to her, and she doesn't know that her daughter, she does look younger to be her sister, because that's exactly what I thought was going on when this show first came on. So she's talking to her, and, she asked her, she was like, well, Mom, how are you doing? And so she was like, surprisingly well. And I never would have thought that I would feel the way I feel about him, despite what has happened in the past. So then she ended up telling the story about what happened to her daddy and about how he was there when the shooting happened, but he was not the one who pulled the trigger, and that he really loved her. And, he was trying to provide for them and went about it the wrong way, but he ended up being in that situation. So it is what it is. Y'all, Pinkett has set it off. This done shook this heifer so bad. She done packed her bags, left a note saying, "I'm going to Boston and I'll call you when I can. Bye." Like, this heifer done left. This heifer done left town. And now we see Nikki and her father walking on a beach trying to build a relationship with one another. So that was the end of the episode, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Please give this video a thumbs up. Let's get down in the comment section and discuss what has happened. What y'all think gonna happen next? Because even the promo for next week is a lot for me. Anyway, I will be back with 1 or 2 more recap reviews and the Married Man Side Heifer Saga, and I will be back.